Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dawg.
Mike, it is good to see you. I was getting drinks this weekend. It was a great summer weekend in New York City. I was with my brother and his fiance. The brother's fiance said, my background sucks. I need to be more like your background. So we're trying to make things a little more dynamic over here.
Good. I'm glad somebody else is telling you, updating. That's good. Good summer refresh. You start to think about things because it's like
September. It's coming.
Yeah, it's the down season. We're recording a special show today. Today is our AFC full-on, I would call it the gambling preview, but this could also be used for fantasy football or just general knowledge of football, because sometimes you forget who's where, and I did not list all those players that moved, so I might mistakenly think some players on other teams. So
one of my favorite games to play with Mike is, what team does this superstar play for? And he often doesn't know, so that's also coming throughout the summer.
That's correct. We're also getting a lot. I have like over-unders. I have like general stats I want to do, because the show after this next week, we are doing an NFC preview. So this is AFC. I have just general stats on chances to win Super Bowls, projected win totals. Can I just go over a few real quick?
Of course, yeah.
So the highest projected win totals, there are 4 teams. Can you name these 4 teams? I think you can.
The highest projected over-unders, basically, right?
Correct. Yes.
The Chiefs.
Ding, ding, ding.
The Ravens.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
The Eagles.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
Can you get the last remaining team? The Bills. Oh my God, off the top of my head,
right.
Mike, we are ready for football season. It is not the middle of summer. It is the end of summer, and we are getting ready for opening day around here.
That was really good. Okay. Can you name the 5 teams with the lowest totals? By the way, the highest projected totals are 11.5. So all those teams have over 11.5. So these all have 5.5.
As a tease for you, one of those teams in my notes today, hammer the under. One of them is not reaching it. Actually, now that I say it, 2 of them are not reaching that total. They're in my notes to go through. One is AFC, one's next week in the NFC. So that is
great
to come. So keep that in mind too.
Do you want to guess real quick, and then we'll hit the conferences?
Lowest teams.
Yeah.
The Titans are a low team.
Ding. Yes. Yeah.
Who else really needs a quarterback still? The Saints. The Saints really need a quarterback.
Correct. Yeah.
That's one. This one might hurt you. Are the Raiders on the list?
Raiders are not on the list. Okay.
I got one wrong.
Yeah. I'll hit them real quick for you. Browns, Giants, and Jets.
Well, New York is well represented. That's my new neighborhood here. Apparently, all the New York football fans are not happy about football season. In the office, I'm like trying to get people excited. Hey, when are we playing your team? All this stuff. Yeah. No one's talking football in the office because they're all Jets and Giants fans.
It's tough. It's a tough place to be when their team's so bad for so long. Your team's pretty bad too, and they just made a trade a few weeks ago, recently. Not exciting trade. It was just not even a news story, really.
Well, let's jump into it. Can we start with the AFC East, my division, the Miami Dolphins? Because my thought on the AFC East, Mike, is that the Bills are my daddy, and I'm not afraid to say it here. The Bills are 12-1 in their last 13 games against the Dolphins. That is disgusting to me, and I just want to say, as we start with the AFC East, my team is not winning it. There's only one team capable. You mentioned the Jets are bad. We know the Dolphins are bad. The Patriots, Drake May, without Belichick, Vrabel, they're not winning a playoff game. No. The Bills are going to guarantee win the division.
Okay, so I have a question for each team. Each team has a prompt to help us understand what's going on here.
And I wrote, prompt?
It says, can Josh Allen maintain MVP level play with a potentially depleted receiving corps? Now, I don't know if the receiving corps is that bad, but I just think, can he continue? Now, my thought is, obviously, all summer long, I've been talking about, I think this could be a Super Bowl team. The odds on the division, I feel like this might be free money, but minus 250 to win the division, over under 11.5. Miami's at plus 600. I don't see that. Patriots are a plus 5. Jets are at plus 1,400. I think you just do it an easy, if you can parlay. A lot of sites don't let you parlay, but this could be a nice parlay to throw in for a division winner. But Buffalo at minus 250.
And over on the wins. We can't say they're going to go over on the wins. What, they have a great first 15 weeks of the year, then they rest their starters, they hit the under, whatever that is. They're going to win the division. That's safe money. You're right about the receivers. They got rid of Stephon Diggs last year. Josh Allen got better, so they're kind of doing that again. They got rid of Amari Cooper. They got worse again. With receivers, it's Shakir. It's Josh Palmer. It's not good pass catchers.
No, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah.
But Josh Allen seems to thrive without the diva superstar, so I think he's going to be fine. The Bills scored almost 200 more points than Miami last season. That is really hard to do. That's like, 10 points a game they're scoring more than the Dolphins? They're going to win the division easily.
That's an easy one. For your Dolphins, I wrote down, can Tua just maintain a healthy situation going on to be able to play into the playoffs? And if they could even make the playoffs, can Tua just survive a season without a head injury?
The only way Tua makes the playoffs is if he misses games, rehabs, and makes it back in time for the playoffs. Because that man is missing games. Zach Wilson will play. Quinn Ewers will play. I know you're excited about Zach Wilson. Speaking of marriages, Josh Allen just got married. We'll see how that affects his performance. Zach Wilson just got married. Could it have a terrible effect on Zach Wilson? Could he mature in this?
Who did he get married to?
Did he marry a BYU mom? I don't know.
Yeah, do you not know who he got married to? Do I have to look it up real quick?
She looked like a cute Instagram model, one of those from that genre.
Zach Wilson marriage. I'm going to look her up. Okay, interesting.
Mike's always been a big Zach Wilson supporter.
Zach Wilson married Nicolette Delano June 28th. St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City.
That was a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Yeah. New York City.
Wow.
St. Patrick's. Wow. So a Dolphins player getting married in New York City, I'm going to cut him for that. I'd actually release him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he's cut. I have on the Jets, can Justin Fields and the Jets overcome 2024 dysfunction? Can Justin Fields actually... this is my question, really. Why do people think Justin Fields can actually lead a football team and win games? Because he's not a guy he's not a Josh. You're not putting him in and be like, you got to win the game for us. And that's what I feel like they're doing with Justin Fields on the Jets.
He has more weapons than Josh Allen has. So he does have weapons. He has Garrett Wilson. He's got some other guys. He's got some running backs. Breece Hall, maybe he's still healthy. I actually think Fields makes the Jets watchable, makes them better, makes them better than Aaron Rodgers or Zach Wilson last year. I actually don't like that the Jets are in your bottom 5 win totals for this year. I'm not putting them in that category. The Jets might be decent.
I just don't think they are. I don't think Justin Fields can maintain what he did in Pittsburgh last season with Tomlin. Tomlin's a good coach.
But, Mike, they didn't want him to succeed. Tomlin was like, no, don't succeed. We need to bring in my boy Russ. Don't try too hard. Don't win too many games. So now the throttle's off. The Jets might actually try to win games. They have a competent head coach, maybe Aaron Glenn from the Lions. We'll see. I just think the Jets are more watchable and probably better than people think than we thought.
I agree watchable. I will watch them. I want to see what's going on with Justin Fields. But I just do not believe in the Jets. If we're talking like gambling, the only team you talk about is the Buffalo Bills. If you want to hit the unders, like under for Jets at 5.5, kind of like that. They got to play the AFC. They got to play Buffalo, twice, right? Don't they have to play Buffalo
But the flip
twice?
side of that is they get 4 games against New England and Miami. Do they go 3-1 and just win 2 more games all year?
I don't think New England will be as bad as we think. The only thing I wrote down,
well, that's
not as bad. Yeah, New England. Is Drake May ready to take the next step in the development? We saw him last year. We liked them. I also like that backup, wherever that backup went. I don't know where he went.
They shipped him out. Joe Milton. Yeah. He was putting pressure on May. They didn't want that to happen.
Yeah. He's out of there. Drake May's left. I think Drake May's capable. I think new coach coming in, I forgot his name, whatever his name is, they got banned last year. Didn't coach. Yeah. And now he's here. I think it'll be a good.
He wasn't banned?
No, he wasn't banned, but no one wanted to hire him. Everybody knew this is the guy you should hire.
Yeah.
I think Patriots are not going to be bad. They're over under 7.5. Kind of like that. Division odds plus 500. I wouldn't do it, but you could do over 7.5. Denver with the rookie QB last year won over 7.5 games.
I don't like that 7.5. I got to disagree with you. I'm going under on Drake May and the Patriots. Mike Vrabel was in Tennessee for many, many years. He had a good defense for many years. He never had a good offense, never had a good quarterback. Why is Drake May going to suddenly save Mike Vrabel without an offensive coaching staff in place to bring him along? I'm going under on the Patriots, over on the Jets. That's weird for me to say.
You want to go AFC North?
Aaron Rodgers, the division. So Aaron Rodgers is opening things up at the Jets, at Justin Fields. I think the Jets win that game, make Aaron Rodgers lose at the Jets week 1. How about that?
I don't think they lose. I don't think they lose to the Jets. I feel like the Jets are complete. We just blew up our team. We gave everything for Aaron Rodgers. We traded players to get people over there for Aaron Rodgers, and then he didn't play, and then he was terrible. And our team is in shambles, and we have Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be good. But where do we want to start? You want me to give you kind of a rundown of division odds, or do you just want to start with the Steelers?
I think the Steelers are the juiciest team. Let's start with them first, because they're not favored to win the division. I know that.
They're not favored. They are plus 500 to win the division, over 8.5. By the way, none of these odds have changed with all the trades that has happened, with Aaron Rodgers signing, with Minka getting shipped out, and them getting Ramsey over there.
It's all smoke and mirrors. It's like we just moved a bunch of pieces around. I don't think it makes the Dolphins or Steelers better or worse.
This is a final shot for Aaron Rodgers. If he does not succeed, 100% retires after the season. If I could bet that, I'm going to check Polymarket or Kalishi. If after the season, if he does not win or succeed at all, if he does not make the playoffs, 100% he retires after the season. But they might be good.
I would bet that too. I'd bet the same thing.
Okay, good. So we're done. Pittsburgh, you could win 9 games, but you might not make the playoffs.
I told you this a few weeks ago. I'm so disinterested in what the Steelers are bringing to the table this year. It's like a collection of stars at this point that actually makes it even more embarrassing. It's like Jalen Ramsey forced himself out of Miami. DK Metcalf kind of forced himself out of Seattle. Aaron Rodgers forced himself onto the Steelers. It's like a collection of misfit toys. Those things rarely go to the playoffs, and I don't think Tomlin's a good enough coach. As we heard on the Hangover Hotline a few weeks ago, we had our biggest Steelers fan ever, Lou, the retired UPS driver, telling us Mike Tomlin needs to go. I don't think he's going to control this hodgepodge locker room.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I feel like they're trying to make the moves that put everything in place and hopefully do this, but yeah, we'll see. What about the Ravens? Do we think Lamar... Last year when I was watching Lamar, my only question was, will Lamar do anything else but try to just... Because you see him when he's like in those crunch time games, he's always rushing. He's always running, trying to make these big plays, trying to kind of do what Josh Allen does.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what he needs to do to actually win games, because in crunch time, you see him collapse and not able to do that because everybody knows, oh, Lamar's going to run. Can they do it? Baltimore is favored to win the division, -140, over 11.5 wins. How do you say?
The Ravens ended last year with a 4-game win streak, and Lamar was the MVP. So the idea that Lamar doesn't come up in big games...
Josh Allen was the MVP.
Lamar should have been the MVP?
In your mind, Lamar was, but
Josh had a great season. You're right. Josh had a great season. Lamar was right there. He had an MVP type season if Josh Allen didn't exist. My point is, the Ravens ended the season strongly. I know they lost in the playoffs. They just always do that. And so until they win a big playoff game and get past the Chiefs and get to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, we're going to keep saying, Lamar, you can't do it. I think he still will. The Ravens ended with a 4-game win streak last year, while the Bengals ended with a 5-game win streak. Those are 2 sure bets to end up battling at the end of the season. The Steelers are out. The Browns are out. Those 2 teams could win the division.
With Cincinnati, do we think this is like do we hedge a little here? Like Baltimore, over 11.5 wins. That's a lot of wins. I mean, they'll probably hit that, but I kind of like betting the under. Also, season-long bets, tough because you're putting a lot of money away in hopes you win some money at the end of the season. But I really do like the Bengals because I know they start off slow. I know Joe Burrow doesn't want to start off slow. My fear of betting on the Bengals, which could be a Super Bowl contender here, he's partying way too much this summer. I'm seeing him out.
Where have you seen
New York City. We see him with Olivia running around town, going to clubs with a big crew. I know you're supposed to have fun.
We were in South Beach a few weeks ago. When we went out to the club, that might have been Joe over in that VIP section.
I don't know.
We were looking over there. It might have been him in VIP section of the club.
I don't like when people are out partying too much during the off season. I want you to be
you're
like
35 plus at this point. That's the only.
I want you to be locked in. I want you to be like Tom Brady, and I want you just doing your TB12 diet and stopping eating tomatoes and everything. Bengals are +250 to win the division, which kind of good. That could happen. Yeah. Over 9.5 wins. Cincinnati, can they stay healthy? A lot of injuries. We got everybody signed to a contract now. Everybody's happy. Can they perform? They're
running it back, right, with Chase and Higgins and all the weapons. So, yeah, I think they can. But you hit on it. The surest thing you can do from betting on the Bengals all season long, maybe the surest thing to put in your manifesto of anything in this show today, is bet against Joe Burrow and the Bengals in September, bet on Joe Burrow and the Bengals in December. Maybe this has to do with the partying all summer. Maybe he shows up to camp a little out of shape, a little dehydrated. Maybe it takes until October, the cooler weather, until he starts to play better. September, his record is terrible. Mike, he won the last 5 games of the season last year with a shit defense. They fired the defensive coordinator. It was so bad. He almost got them into the playoffs after they were written off to be done early in the season. The offense wasn't the problem. The Bengals should make the playoffs. The Bengals could be a sneaky division winner. If you like them to surge past the Ravens, they almost did last year. I like them from October on, but certainly bet against them every game in September.
What about Cleveland? I don't even know where to begin. Is Shador going to start? Maybe not. He got that speeding ticket a few weeks ago, which I felt like was a lot bigger news than it should have been. Like, who cares? He was speeding.
It may have been his 3rd speeding ticket in Cleveland since he's been there.
Okay, maybe that's
like in 2
then.
months?
Well, I just feel like, Jeremy, imagine you moving to like the middle of nowhere and it's just wide open roads.
Just
you would probably speed too. Sometimes I speed on the way to Vegas.
You do speed. It's hard to keep up with Mike sometimes when you're following him. But no, he always follows the rules. I actually think one thing I saw is Deshaun Watson is mentoring Shedeur Sanders. So that is really disturbing for Deion and the whole family. Yeah. Maybe get another mentor in there. The second thing I would say is I'm more interested in the Browns and the Steelers. That's how boring the Steelers are to me at this point. Where the Browns with Shedeur, our former UCF quarterback Dylan Gabriel, Flacco might still be there. Is that right? He's still hanging around there. Yeah. Who's going to play quarterback? I'm actually interested. And will they tank to get a quarterback? What happens with Watson? There's more drama there than the Steelers.
It's a mess. There's too many quarterbacks. I don't know what's going to go on. I would say, though, with who they have a ton of quarterbacks. And I feel like their defense is always good. Does 5.5 seem too low for you for the Browns for the over/under?
Yes, you're right. The defense is too good. Shedeur is not going to be terrible. Maybe he's in jail for speeding tickets, but he's not going to be terrible.
Okay, so we like the over. It's plus 3,000 to win the division, so that's I think 30-1 odds to win the division. You could take it. Who knows? There could be injuries. That's the thing about football. You never know. You never know what could happen every season.
You never know. That's true. There's only 4 teams in a division. So betting on division winner long shots, it can't hurt you that bad because it's like kind of a 1 in 4 chance you're going in.
You want to hit what? AFC South?
Is this a division we have to talk about on the show?
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty bad, Mike. You saw these teams. It's like, what's a storyline to even talk about here?
Let me give you. So last year, I bet on the Texans to win the division. And it was wasn't it almost a 4-way tie or 3-way tie between all 3 teams in the division to win?
Yeah.
Towards the last game.
It was really close. The Texans barely held off the Colts and Thick Rich.
Houston is plus 100 to win the division. Jags plus 300. Colts plus 350. And Titans plus 750. Now, we can rule off the Titans. We don't have to worry about them winning. So what about Texans? Lotta, what's his name, got injured, the receiver.
Yeah.
What's
his name?
I thought you said his name.
Tank Dell is very hurt. But then the other guy is also very hurt.
He got hurt. A lot of the receivers getting hurt. We can't remember their names. I mean, it's midsummer.
Nico Collins is hurt as well, but he should be back. Tank Allen had a terrible injury, but Nico should be back. And Stroud and Nico were amazing.
But Stroud did have a down season last year, right? He wasn't like an all standout, like this is the guy. Do we think this continues? Is it kind of like, remember Trevor Lawrence when he came in? Everybody was like hyped up. Are you going to do good? I mean, Trevor Lawrence somehow is still a starting quarterback. I don't know if there's just like the Bermuda Triangle or whatever is hitting Florida up there and they just forget about Trevor Lawrence as a terrible quarterback. But he's up there still quarterbacking a franchise.
The problem is his contract. Once you sign these guys, I feel like with Tua, we see it across the league. Once you sign him, you can't get rid of him. You're locked in. And so they got to run it back with Trevor Lawrence and just hope he's decent and better than he's shown so far because he used to be decent.
So... God, I was trying to like see some value, but I don't even know. Like, do we think the Colts? I think like if I look at this, I think if the Colts say Anthony Richardson, their quarterback that has barely played in the last 3 years, who should by all means be a really good quarterback because he's tall, strong, and can throw the ball really far, but has no accuracy and then gets hurt every week.
Well, that does seem like a problem to his quarterback prospects long term.
It does. Do we think Daniel Jones steps in and builds this team up and tries to get them to the playoffs? Because at plus 350, the win the division, if we think Trevor Lawrence is not going to do anything good this year, if we think CJ is going to have a regression this year and Titans are starting with Cam Ward, just a rookie, do we think Daniel Jones comes in and takes the Colts? Because I felt like the Colts the last 3 years, kind of good up and down, right? We had... What's his name with the cutoff jorts? He was playing there for a little while. Flacco was there for a little while. And they were all good. Who's the guy with the
Was that Nick Foles? Nick Foles?
No, not Nick Foles. God, he was in Vegas for a little. He's been all over the place. I can't even remember. Gardner Minshew, yeah.
Was he there? I always like Gardner Minshew. Everywhere he goes, he just slings it and wins games.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew was there. Yeah, he had this, yeah.
All right, you're throwing a lot at me there. Okay.
Yes.
The Texans... Break it down. CJ Stroud, sophomore slump, still won the division. So let's take a step back and say, hey, you made it through a classic slump and you still got to the playoffs. Maybe you'll surge through that. So that's one option I have. The second option is Travis Hunter's an amazing player. And I've been trying to tell you this since the draft. He plays both ways, receiver and corner. What if the Jags added an all-pro receiver and an all-pro corner, and Trevor Lawrence does turn it around, and they have a good running game with Travis Etienne, and they have good receivers, and they invest in the O-line, and their GM is 25 years old, and he's a child. Maybe he actually figures it out. Can the Jags, with their new GM, their new head coach, their rich owner, they surge up and challenge the Texans? That's a question. Because it's not going to be the Colts, and it's sure as hell not going to be the Titans. So can the Jags threaten the Texans?
So you like the Jags offseason. You would give them, if they were an F last season, you'd give them an A offseason grade this season.
No, they hired a child as a GM. I can't endorse that. The man does not know how to grow a beard, and we can't endorse that on this show. Maybe they challenge. Again, there's only 4 teams in the division. It's not going to be the Titans. It's not going to be the Colts. I don't see what you see in the Colts, actually. I think Thick Rich is not long for this league. I think he's more of a USFL type.
I know, but that's why Danny Dimes is there as a backup. And we know at some point there was greatness to get him $250 million contract, right? So I think there's something there that's like, if he can take over the team and bring maybe some like guidance and structure, be like, hey, I was just in a shithole for years in New York. This seems like we're level-headed here a little bit. Also, the owner died, right? And I think the daughter's taking over.
I mean, he was a legend in Indy. That could hurt the Colts' performance.
I know, but did you see the daughter? Did you see that she's on the sidelines every game to make sure that like people aren't saying like bullshit about how good this player is and how bad that player is? She's on the sideline with a headset every single week.
Oof. Yeah, you're scaring me even more. Should the owner have a headset? Is she calling things in?
Well, I don't know. Well,
she wasn't the owner.
She
wasn't. But now, is she the new head coach? Does the head coach have to? Hey, she got 3rd and 10 plays she loves. We got to run that. You're scaring me even more on the Colts. I'm so off the Colts now.
No.
Plus, yes, you just scared me. The owner has a headset. Jerry Jones doesn't even have a headset. We would criticize Jerry Jones if he had a headset.
Yes, but how about this? We criticize Jerry Jones because he does dumb stuff all the time, and he's not anywhere near the players. All he's doing on the sideline is measuring dick sizes with other people.
You guys show some context there. What's the context on that? He got quoted as measuring dicks.
No, there was a video of he was like FaceTiming with some celebrity and like talking about dick sizes of all the players, which is a wild thing to do.
Was that Jamie Foxx? It was Jamie Foxx. Yes. Sitting there watching practice, talking D size.
Fun days.
I think the Colts also, if you saw what we saw with Thick Rich, you would bring in someone better than Daniel Jones to actually challenge him and play better. Sam Darnold was available, and they chose not to go that route, so it makes me think they're going to give Thick Rich another chance. I think he's not long for the league. I'm fading the Colts in every way. I got to fade someone here. Okay. I'm sorry, Mike. It's your team.
It's okay. It's all right. I was just, I was high on him. I thought like motivation, new owner, a little life into it. Jags felt like we're covering this up with some flashy toys and maybe not going to be as good.
I like flashy toys.
Trevor.
I like that.
All right, let's do AFC West. Let's hit it off.
Okay.
I'm just going to start off strong.
Have to.
This is my Super Bowl winner. Right here, Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, wow. What a pick. He's done it, folks. He's calling Patrick Mahomes a Super Bowl winner. That takes balls, Mike. It takes balls to do.
I think Travis Kelce last season, it was like deep in love, right? It was like he was so in love. It was like hot and heavy. I think this offseason, I think he's focused. I think he's locked in. I think the boys are back. Patrick Mahomes had a baby last offseason. They're back. They want to be back.
Mike, does a baby help your physical performance or hurt it?
It hurts, but they still made the Super Bowl, right? So it's like...
And he has more help than you.
He will be back. I think this is like it. This is their last chance. They got to do it. If they don't do it, who will? It's going to be another 20 years before somebody else does it. I like Kansas City going back again. I know it's silly, but minus 130 to win the division feels cheaper than Buffalo winning the division, and I kind of like it.
It's not silly. I love your take because I'm going to chew it up and spit it out my ass right now. The Chiefs were 15-2 last year. That was great. They made it to the Super Bowl. That was great, but they lost the Super Bowl, and that's something that hasn't happened in the Andy Reid era, and that's going to hurt all offseason. Now, they were 15-2, as I mentioned, Mike. They did that record. They won 13 more games than they lost, but their point differential for the whole season was plus 59 for their 13 wins. They were winning by less than a touchdown per game. If just a few of those things go differently, if they don't block a kick against the Broncos, if they don't get a sack late against someone else, they're like 13-4. They're on the road in the playoffs. They probably don't even make the Super Bowl. The hangover has begun for the Chiefs. It begun when Travis was off touring Europe last summer and not putting in the time with his team. It continued when Mr. C came on the show a few weeks ago and showed us Travis Kelce's back hair, and there is something bizarre going on with that man. Plus, he is more obese than ever. Patrick Mahomes, to your point, he's eating ice cream. He's got the gut. He has a kid. Andy Reid, he's fat and happy. The guy goes to Hawaii all offseason, eats burgers, and comes back in his Hawaiian shirts and just says, go play ball. The Chiefs are not going to win the division. The Chiefs are not going to go to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs dynasty is dead.
Jeremy, I disagree, and that's okay. That's why we're here. We're here to throw topics out and ideas. I like it. The idea of them losing last year, there's finally fire under their belly. You just lost. Imagine, we're going out for a podcast award and we lose, and we're like, we got to get better. We got to see what's going on. We got to really check ourselves. Now, they're back. They're getting healthy. Guess what? Travis Kelce now has access to $1 billion because of Taylor Swift, and hopefully is getting in the best shape of his life out there. We don't know. That back hair photo, we don't know when it was from. You can go back and listen to that episode. There's no video of it because it was a conspiracy podcast, and for some reason, there is no video. But I like Kansas City. I just think I'm just a loser, Joe Schmo bet, but it feels like the right bet. And I don't know why I don't make it every year when I know a team is really good. Why not bet on a team that, even winning by a margin of like a field goal, but that means there's something there that gets you to that edge, and I like that.
It means it could have been the other way, too.
I know. There's also another team in this division I would like to win a Super Bowl as well, but we'll get to them at the end. But Kansas City, over-under, 11.5.
Under 11.5, and I will bet you on that. Why don't we take that one down as a TSH host bet? You go over Chiefs, I'll go under, and we'll see who's cooking after this.
Done. I will take the over. All right. Chargers. What do you think about the Chargers? Harbaugh's there. They have Najee Harris now.
Yeah.
Are you excited about this? Team never feels exciting to me.
Bold prediction. No, it's not exciting. It's actually boring, and that's why it's a bold prediction. They're not going to make the playoffs because their offense got worse. Jim Harbaugh is making his NFL offense, which should be big and shiny and bright and loud. He's compressing it. He's making it smaller and less dynamic by investing in the running game. That is not the NFL in 2025. They're paying Justin Herbert so much money to be a stud quarterback and win you games, yet they want to run the ball 30, 40 times a game. They added Najee Harris, as you said. They drafted a running back in the second round, which is pretty early still, to draft one. Their best receivers are Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey. Like, they're not investing in the passing game. When you have to go play the Chiefs, when you have to go play the AFC, the Chargers will actually falter because they're investing too much in Harbaugh's philosophy and not what the NFL is doing.
Jeremy, I agree with you. I have no rebuttal there. I think you're 100% right. I think everybody has a hard-on for Justin Herbert, and I think every single Chargers fan that listens to this will say, you're wrong. Justin Herbert is the greatest quarterback, second coming of God. And I will just say you are wrong. Justin Herbert is not that good. It feels like a Trevor Lawrence to me, where there's like this love and passion. Like, this guy is our guy, and he might not be your guy. It might be time.
You know why? What do Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert have in common?
Long, beautiful hair.
And they're good-looking guys, and the fan base rallies around them. Yet they don't rally around guys who are going to help them win. No one's saying Patrick Mahomes and his Kermit the Frog voice is sexy, but he wins games. And as a football fan, that's the sexiest thing you can do, Mike.
Jeremy, I got another, I'm going to call this a mediocre hot take. I think the Denver Broncos regress this year. I know we talked sophomore slump. I do not think they hit over 9.5 wins. I will bet the under here. Division odds to win is plus 400. I don't think they take the next level. I think people figure out what Bo is doing, which wasn't, I don't know if it was great. I don't know if it was part of defense, but he was winning games and people were surprised by it. I don't know if it was Sean Payton doing the magic work in the background, but I think people catch on. They figure it out. I don't think Denver hits over 9.5 wins. They may or may not maybe do a little wild card action, but I don't think they're going to be that great this season.
I agree with you. I just don't know if the Chiefs come back and the Chargers suck. I think the Broncos have to be okay. And so in that regard, I would say I trust Sean Payton more than Jim Harbaugh.
There is one more team in the division that could be really good. We haven't got to that.
Could they actually be good?
The Las Vegas Raiders. This is the reunion of all reunions. Pete and Gino back at it. I saw a quote from Crosby, and he was talking about OKC, about how all these young guys got together and they really just wanted to win. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is the team. This is my long shot for not only division to win the division.
Raiders are the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yeah.
Geno Smith is old. Max Crosby is old.
It's okay.
Where's Shea Gilgeous? Where is he?
They got who's the new running back? Who's the new running back they got? The little guy,
Ashton
Jonte.
Gentry? But again, what do we say about running backs? That ain't it, Pete.
I know, but listen, this is my bet. This is my long shot. I put a Super Bowl bet on him.
I know.
I'm putting division odds on him. Over 6.5 wins, 100%. This is my bet the house on it.
Mike, you're going to Las Vegas soon to enter a contest, the Survivor contest.
Yep.
Can you get some intel? What's going on with the Vegas Raiders? Maybe stop by training camp, maybe get a vibe, maybe ask some Raider fans around town. Are they going to be good? Are they not? Let's take your homer out of this, and maybe on one of our episodes right before the season, you can be honest about what you experienced in Vegas and if they actually have a shot to win the division or not.
Well, I will say every time you go to Vegas, there are 3 teams that travel the best. I think it is Vegas. Vegas shirts are all over. Seattle and Pittsburgh. Those jerseys, you see everywhere.
They're like cockroaches. You can't get rid of them. Seattle South is interesting. I feel like that's what you do when you get old. You're in Seattle. It's a cold climate. Pete and Gino, they got old together, and now they moved south to Vegas. They're retiring in the desert like so many people from the Northwest do. I just don't know how productive they're going to be in their old age.
You got to say over 6.5 wins for a competent quarterback who, by the way, had some of the greatest stats last season for a quarterback. He was better than Josh Allen last season.
He was in a wide open offense last year. Maybe that continues in Vegas, but there's also a reason the Seahawks sent him out of town, right? He threw for all those yards, and they said, "Nah, we good. We want Sam Darnold."
Well,
so
Pete's also like,
an issue.
"I'm going to give you guys a good deal. We got a lot of money down here. Let's just take Pete off your hands. You guys go get Sam."
I got a question about Pete too. I don't know. Is he actually think he's going to win in Las Vegas? He's been out of the game for a year. He's not an X's and O's guy. He's a culture guy, but he's almost 80 years old. Is that going to work?
I can't wait for the Raiders fans to come at you. Raiders are going to do really good this season. It's going to be Chiefs and Raiders. They're Chargers fans. I don't even care about. They're not even real fans. They're like, oh, you like a San Diego team, but you live in LA. It's like, give me a break. Get out of here.
Mike, if this is real and the Raiders are decent and there's a late season Chiefs Raiders game in Las Vegas that means something,
are we going?
Let's just jump on it. Just jump on it. If
so
it matters.
What is it?
But this is a bet. This is you betting that the Raiders will matter, and me saying they won't because you're going to contact.
So if they matter, what's that mean? Are they both 8-3, something like that, or is it where are we going? Where do we
say
determine
it has to be the
cutoff?
last 4 games of the season. It has to be in the last 4, and they have to both be still not disqualified from the playoffs.
Eliminated.
They both still have a chance. Right? They're not eliminated yet. They both.
All right, I'll take that. That'll be great.
Okay. And if not, we'll just do that bet every year until they're decent.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right, good show. That was our AFC breakdown. We're going to do NFC next week.
You got the Chiefs winning the AFC. I got the Ravens or the Bills. I'm going to hedge it there. Is that crazy? There's 2 of them.
Oh, but that's what everybody's doing. I have Chiefs. Hold on. I have 2 teams. I have Chiefs and Vegas winning the AFC.
Winning the AFC. Okay.
Not even
Good
the
luck.
division.
Good luck.
Good luck. See ya.